tam rila ming shi nian Shin tu mi te uwargi Yokun nam da shing a chu par sho Inam guru rana mandala konya yatayam
Sangye
Chudam Soki Choknam La Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Yaki Chenyen Gipe Sanam Ki Jola Penchir Sangye Tupar Sho
Sangye
Chudam Soki Choknam La Chanchu Pardu Dagni Kapsuchi Daki Chunyen Gipe Sanam Gi Dola Penchir Sangye Dupar Sho
Sangye
Chenan Soki Chonama Chanchu Pardu Dagni Kapsuchi Daki Chunyen Gipe Sanam Gi Dola Penchir Sangye Tupar Sho Smoky Doki.
Glad to be here. I try to make this one a little bit more reasonable for y'all. I think I went a little PhD level before. Especially since I don't know that I could have answered the questions. What qualifier does Master Baba Viveka add to his syllogism about emptiness, that Master Chandrakirti strongly disagrees with, Tibetan and English?
Syllogism?
There's a syllogism, there's a word in that syllogism
should I
that
say it?
Chandrakirti, yeah, I'll just give the rest a second. Not Chochen, not Ch, yeah, ultimately, even better. Tundam,
As an
he said,
as an adverb.
yeah, as an adverb, Tundampar. Tundampar. And here it is in Tibetan, so you guys are getting your vocabulary. Tundampar. Ultimately. Specifically, there are two places where Master Chandrakirti says that there was no need to place that qualifier, where Tibetan and English. No, not thinking about it exactly right. I'd be surprised if you don't get this, Ben. But it does require remembering last class.
Conventionally.
No, okay.
You mean in that syllogism? I'll wait. Should I wait?
For classes?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
Remember?
It's in Tibetan and then English. And then
Dum Dumbar. Yeah, how does the
don't
syllogism go?
understand.
Dum
well, forget that. It's not even. He just. I'll give you a hint.
You don't
It
know
only
what the
came
Buddha
in one of the
means.
places in the syllogism, but then he says that it shouldn't have been in either place.
The Chuchin, or either the subject or the assertion.
Yeah, in Tibetan,
Subject or assertion in Tibetan?
Chochen or
The Chuchin or the
Oh,
what is
where,
it?
not why.
Chuchin?
Jupcheche. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Chochen and Jupcheche. Nice. Subject and assertion.
Wait,
No?
There's the one.
assertion is Druk Cha,
Oh,
and it's bus groups, I think. Future tense.
Hold on, let's check the text in a second.
Yeah, okay, so Druk Cha is the first and second element together.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese restaurant is someplace we should go to. And the Drupche Che is the half of that which you're trying to, the quality you're trying to prove, which is to be gone to. Okay, so Drupcha is 1 plus 2,
Okay.
and Drupche Che is 2.
Right, okay, so
Okay, right.
I was thinking
Jupcheche.
Jupcheche.
Right.
Okay,
They
good.
have spelled it.
And I believe it has to be BS.
I was struggling with the fonts again, so I could.
Yeah, better you than me. Sometimes I think I should put the font.
Oh, I want to put it in Tibetan because we don't get to look at the Tibetan.
No, I mean, sometimes I think I should make you read the Tibetan letters.
I think you should too.
It's fun. It's
But,
definitely slower going.
For long.
Yeah.
For long, yeah.
Learning curve.
I feel like
Yeah.
I've been hypertexting so much I've had to switch back to Roman. It's been hard for me.
Here's a BSGREG of Druparjawe.
I'm looking at Drupche Chis.
Uh-huh. Getting both?
It should be future. It should be BSG. Yeah.
Okay.
There are people who spell it without it, but most people who know what they're doing.
Do you know which page in this text? Well, anyway, I'll check it in a second.
No, I just added it.
Okay. Okay.
It was in my notes.
Got it.
Yeah, Drupchicha.
Okay.
Why did I put it on the Drupchicha?
Third.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you later.
Okay. Master Chandrakirti breaks down why there is no need to apply the word ultimately. State one of the reasons that he gives. Like, there's 3 in the text.
Good.
The last thing in the
Yeah.
last class.
Because if you felt the need, you wouldn't understand what the heck the Buddha was teaching.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's true, but he gets kind of specific. Like why there's no need to place it if you're debating with this person, or if you're debating with this people, or what was the one who's... Yeah, if you're debating with worldly people, then...
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember it was one of the
Yeah,
applications.
they
don't know what you're talking about anyway.
it's not
Yeah,
that, it was that they don't examine it anyway.
Yeah, they
don't
left it
examine.
unexamined.
Not ch or something like
Oh,
Me
I'm
too.
talking about Chip.
that. Uh-huh. Anybody remember any of the other ones?
Oh, they don't agree on the subject.
What are the 3 kinds of people?
There's
Goat
Umapas.
herders
Oh.
and people
Oh,
who study
in
the
the-
little bird
If
moment
you're a
and
Madhyamikan,
speak directly.
Yeah.
then you don't need to say it because they don't accept.
No, he divided it in Ngagul and Chigul.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
The first one is Ngagul, the second is Chigul, third one is worldly people.
Oh, no, that's... Are you sure?
Yep.
Oh, because you're looking at it right now? But
I just went over
he
it.
made another division also
Oh, he did?
for non-Buddhists.
Yeah, those are the Chigul.
Oh, okay. Chigo is in the sense of...
Yeah, who you present the reason to.
Right.
Who you present the syllogism to is Mutekpas.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's right.
And you don't have to specify. It doesn't matter whether you say they believe that that things came from themselves, or that they came from themselves ultimately.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter whether you say to them, things come from themselves in a conventional way, or things come from themselves in an ultimate way, because both ways they're wrong.
Right.
They don't even understand how corn seeds make corn.
Right. So this is right. They don't accept that things are from themselves even conventionally.
Oh, yeah, that's the first guys, Ngago.
No.
The people who presented the debate are Umapas.
Umapas.
So
Then the Chigos...
they don't have to say ultimately because they don't even accept it conventionally. That things could grow from themselves. There's no reason to say things don't grow from themselves ultimately, because they don't grow from themselves anyway. It doesn't. You could say things don't grow from themselves in a fish pond.
Right.
Who cares?
They just don't grow.
You don't have to add those words. Okay.
And then if they're non-Buddhists, they don't even grasp the two truths correctly anyway.
Yeah. So why make the distinction? I'm talking ultimately, or I'm talking conventionally. Both ways, they don't understand how things start. So why add it? Okay.
Yeah.
Then don't add it in the third way, which is.
Uh,
Yeah, for people in the world, they don't care. They say, just give me the money. I don't care if it came from itself or from something else.
They don't believe.
It doesn't matter to me.
They haven't examined it. Sure. And here's another word. I gave you guys a bunch of words already, but here's one just for fun. Spiar.
To use contact with your touch. Or combine with.
I think it's funny. I didn't write it, did I? I was like, I got this. I think it's apply, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apply to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can also,
It's
in other
joined.
contexts, mean like, so
Combined.
What's jartsi?
it's glue.
Glue. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So it means combine, apply, stick,
Jorlam,
stuck, chorlam, right?
yoga,
Yeah,
huge.
sure.
Cool. That's it. You take the plane. Bob.
Okay, I got the plane.
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly review what we did before. And I'm sorry we're going slow, but as I still assert that in the end we'll be faster.
I'm happy. Someone's gonna get ridiculed for going slow. But
Not from me. So we're at a part where they're gonna deny Baba Viveka's beliefs.
okay.
Okay, Lekten Jeki Luke Bak Dakpa. 3 parts. Rangi Goperikpa, we're gonna deny the logic called independent logic. Rigbade Parobokyang Dirgi Kilang Tsildang. we're gonna show how the other guy does accept such logic, even though he doesn't know it, which means dun ki. We had tun du before today, actually,
In actuality.
right? So tun ki is the same. So what they believe amounts to believing in that kind of logic, okay? And then kinja de rangi jola mitsumagitsuno. Why the same criticisms don't apply to our use of logic. Okay. Then the first part, which is we are denying the independent logic, independently effective logic. Okay. We're gonna say it was. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can. I'm sorry. This wrong you doesn't mean an independent reasoning. It means the school. What logic we use to deny the school.
The independent school.
Yeah. And in the second part, I apologize. I said it wrong. First part here is we're going to deny the lower middle way school's presentation. Secondly, we're going to show that we're going to deny their. We're going to give logic, we're going to give reasoning why they're wrong, okay? Then we're going to show that that reasoning they accept in actuality, although if you ask them, they would say no. So in fact, tun ki, if you accept everything they accept, they must already be accepting the logic we use to defeat them. Okay, got it? And then kinja de rangi jola sumi, then why those criticisms don't apply to our own use of logic, okay? So I'll say it again. We're gonna give reasoning which disproves the ideas of the lower middle way school, 1. Number 2, we're gonna show that they already accept that reasoning, but they don't know.
I thought that was number 3.
No, it's number 2. And then number 3 is the criticisms we give of their reasoning don't apply to ours.
Cool.
Okay, mitsum. Then the first one, where we deny their logic, their syllogisms, it has 2 parts. Number 1, it's unnecessary for you guys to keep repeating ultimately.
Yeah.
Okay, and second, I think I can give a little better explanation of this than I did. Chichen Chitsam means Minami restaurant independent of good food or bad food. Just the chichen taken as a general thing. Chichen Chitsam. Just
generally that.
Yeah,
thing.
Minami restaurant. Before you talk about good food or bad food, okay? Taken by itself. Gakpa, we denied that. They tried to sell us that.
Yeah.
Okay, we can see the same restaurant when we have a debate with our wife about the Japanese restaurant, if we divorce it from the conclusion we're trying to draw about it. Just a general restaurant, not whether it's good food or bad food, okay? So we can both talk about whether or not we should go to the restaurant. Even though the restaurant in my mind is a good place to eat, and the restaurant in her mind is a bad place to eat, we can still talk about the restaurant in general, okay? Who says that?
I was just going
The other guys say that.
Right.
The other guys say that. They said, we are seeing the same restaurant. When you fight with your wife about going to the Japanese restaurant because you believe it's good food and she believes it's bad food, you're still talking about the same restaurant, because we don't mean the restaurant which is good or bad when we say the restaurant in general, chitam, okay? The restaurant in general, okay? Then that's a wrong idea about logic.
Right. Because there's even one of those.
This is Noam Pelman. So it's possible. I believe the Rangluk, everybody wants the Rangluk. Just tell me what we believe, Geshe-la. I believe the Rangluk is we can have a different perception of the object that we're talking about, and we can still have a meaningful argument about it.
Right.
Okay? It's natural that we will have a different perception of the restaurant. But we can still talk about whether we should go to the restaurant or not. Okay? You okay?
Imagine they're going to present it, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the second part later. Okay. Okay, first part. Why it's unnecessary to add the word ultimately. Okay? And this whole thing is a single line in Gyaltsab-je. Do we see the same thing when we talk about something or not? Chichen Tunoa. Are we talking about the same object, the same restaurant, or not? Is it ever possible to talk about the same restaurant? This is all a footnote, because he went off on, you know. Okay, so here's the syllogism as Langton J would like to give it.
Is it the same one we did last time?
It is.
Okay.
Ultimately speaking, take the inner eye power for optic nerve.
Do you want to say ultimately speaking?
Or ultimately,
Okay, I'm just checking.
it's not certain that it could grow from itself because it exists. It's like everything in the universe. It's like everything in the universe. Now, I'm not comfortable with how he gave this syllogism, and I found a better one. I found a better version of Baba Viveka's syllogism where he said ultimately, okay?
Cool.
So we're going to go on a digression within the digression,
Okay.
which is definitely going to slow you down. Okay, here we go.
Yay. So wait.
We're going to guess where. Go down a couple lines.
Yeah. Oh, interlude on emptiness.
Yeah,
Yay.
we keep hitting this guy.
We might as well train.
It makes me hungry. I want to eat you up. Okay. Who? Cater J.
Like a thing.
We're chewing on Gyaltsab J's toes, but we would like to eat you up. Okay,
We're just a Chandra Kirti's toes.
Go.
Nugu Churchan.
No, Sashile.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I could read from there. We didn't cover that. I just got
Now
excited.
this is
I
new.
got excited about this.
This is the beginning of the digression in the digression,
Yeah.
because I want to get his syllogism straight.
So I'll start from the beginning.
Without which you cannot discuss Churchens,
Without.
understanding Baba Viveka's syllogism.
Right.
And I would assert that this is the Rangyu from which their school is named.
Oh wow. Cool. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
the one,
How exciting. That's
or
amazing.
something like that. Okay,
Beautiful.
I'm trying to sell it to you,
Awesome.
my digression. Okay,
We're all buying tickets.
all right.
Ta she le. Dat le ma yin shen le min. Che
Yeah.
so sumpe jesu jang ne. Uma nangwa. So rangyu pe shung le kyang
Can you look up that
tashi.
quotation? That name might
Ken Goki
even in the symbol.
Rikpa Shepala Dorje Sikme Tentik Shejakpe,
Good. Okay. This is misspelled.
which,
It's Dorje Sekma,
oh yeah,
but they are not to be blamed since it's extremely rare.
the Guardian is reflexed. Right?
Yeah. Tagle Mayan Shenle Min, Yikan Mayan Nikan Min. It's like,
Oh
okay.
yeah, so they
He's
don't
looking
come
it up
from
for me.
themselves, they don't come from others.
You want to just, oh, that's a Chisok, same problem. Give me the whole 4 lines. He's looking it up, he's going to quote it for us.
Gracias.
I'm looking forward to teaching this in, we might start a little bit in
Mexico.
Guadalajara, but we'll hit it heavy at Diamond Mountain in October.
Sekme Tentik.
You got it yet? That's it. Yeah, that's it. Dakle Mayan. Read it. It's not Lhasa, it's Lay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dakle Mayin Shen Le Min. Ni Le Mayin Yume Min.
Translate that much. Say it again.
Dakle Mayin Shen Le Min.
Wait, then go slow.
They don't come from something else.
Ni Le Mayan.
Ni Le Mayin
They don't come from
Yume
both.
Min.
And they don't come from.
Me.
That's the relevant part. Okay.
They don't come from a cause.
Now we're digressing down the digression. Okay. Baba Viveka's argument comes from a quotation from Nagarjuna. Okay. The syllogism that Baba Viveka gave that started the fight that ended up in a lower middle way school called Rangyupa Svatantrika, meaning a certain kind of syllogism. It starts from this quotation: Dagle min, Shenle min, Nile mayan Gime min. Translate that much.
It doesn't come from itself.
Things don't come from themselves.
Things don't come from something else.
They don't come from something
They
else.
don't come from both.
They don't come from both.
And they don't come from a cause.
They don't come from.
From no cause.
From no cause. Oh, you
Without a cause.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
So now we know all four choices, all four moves mean refer to gyu. As things don't come from themselves as a gyu, as a cause. A watermelon is not born from the same watermelon. It's born from the watermelon of the year before or something, okay? Now skip the second one. It's traditional to skip the second one. Let's do the second one. Are things born from other things?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. Kids are born from moms. Watermelons are born from last year's watermelons. Okay? They are born from other things, but not
The number.
ultimately. Okay? Then are they born from both?
No.
Nope.
Are they born from neither?
Nope.
Sometimes this is called Mushi Kengoku. The denial of all four. Look at this. This is cool. I got both feet.
Awesome. Or if you're British 100 years ago, you call it the tetralomo.
All right, sorry. They don't come from themselves. They don't come from something else. They don't come from both. They don't come from nothing. That's basically Nagarjuna. Okay. Now, do I have to add ultimately on the first one?
No. Specifically not. Chandrakirti got really upset about that just before.
Yeah.
You
Why
have to not.
things are not born from themselves? A child isn't born from itself.
Ever.
Do I have to say ultimately speaking?
No, because not under any
No.
circumstance.
When do I have to add ultimately
For the
speaking?
second one.
For the second one, okay, you can add it, but don't waste my time on the first one. It's impossible for something to be born from itself, okay? This does not mean self-existence, okay? It's not, it doesn't mean that kind of doc, okay? This is not an argument about the doc that doesn't exist. This is an argument about the kid who does exist, okay? So don't get confused. We're not denying doc as Atman, as a self-nature of things. It's not the argument. The question is, can a thing come from itself? Can the baby give birth to a baby? And then we just reject it. Well, why did Nagarjuna mention that in the first place? He wanted to cover all possibilities. Okay, that's all. Okay, all right. Sashay Dalnation. Che sok sumbe jesu dangne.
Quotation.
Quotes like this and such.
Yeah, following. Jade dang means following.
Yeah.
Uma Nanwa, I looked it up because I can't remember all these things. The light on the middle way, okay, etc. Rang Gyupe Shung.
Those are the main
One of the main
texts
texts
of
of
the
Svatantrika.
Yeah, the great books of the lower middle way school. Lei, Kyang, Tashi. Sometimes it's called Tashi Kengoku Rikpa. Sometimes it's called Mushi Kengoku Rikpa. Some people say Tashi Kengoku Rikpa isn't the Dak and Shen, it's the Ye and Me.
Okay.
So it's some confusion about what you call it. Okay. Anyway, you can call it Tashi Kengoku Rikpa. Okay. And there's a heavy prenasal here because
Kengo, because it's an open vowel.
open vowel. Okay. So when you say it, always say Kengo. Say Kengo.
Kengo.
Mushi. Kengo.
Kengo.
Kirikpa. The logic which depends on four possibilities, canceling four possibilities. All four possibilities. Kengo Ripa Shepa La. This is also called Dorje Sekma,
Diamond sliver.
the sliver of diamond. So Sek, GZEGS, is extremely rare.
Yeah.
It mostly only comes in the name of this logic.
That's why I
But Sikh, like Chenrei Sikh, Avalokiteshvara, very common, extremely common. So the typist corrected it. Unconsciously, subconsciously. That's why when we started our project, I went to Korea to watch them inputting the Greek. Hewlett Packard sent the Greek to Korea because they started in Greece and they stopped. They gave up the project in Greece because the Greeks kept correcting it to the modern spelling, you see, without thinking. Okay, so that's why it's okay to have people typing scripts they don't know. Sometimes it's even better. Okay. All right. Kengoku Rikpo Pala Dorji Semi Tenzik She Dark. We had dark when we discussed Ser, dark, and
So they
conventions.
say.
Ser, dark, and Sung, I guess it was. Oh, low. Low, Ser, and dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's what
Okay. Yeah. It's also known as, this dark one means also known as the sliver of diamond.
AK.
Or you can say the four combinations, the four possibilities. Okay. Now, okay. Go ahead.
Oh. Taylor Rangupe Tunmang Mayampa Chung Se Shena.
Yeah. What if I gave you guys just a little explanation of this
This reason.
four possibility canceling reasoning of Nagarjuna according to the
Higher middle way.
lower middle way?
Well, isn't it you say, that is Tumong Mayan.
Yeah, their unique way of
Oh, they're
presenting
unique, right.
Nagarjuna's four-part reason. Okay, how about we talk a little bit about how the lower middle way school presents this famous reasoning from Nagarjuna. Okay, meaning, and he said unique, but what he meant was
This is the one that we don't.
messed up.
Yeah.
He's being polite.
enabling.
Let me tell you about
He's
this
special.
unique socks that Nick had on. Who had them on?
This me. Yeah.
Show them. Let's talk about these unique socks, that, which means unbelievably ugly. Okay. I mean, I'm just my opinion. Okay.
Hey, they're clean.
As opposed. Now here's so who's the lower middle way champion?
That's the Baba Vivek.
Baba Viveka. So now we get a different version of his logic, of his syllogism, which I assert is kind of more clear.
Cool.
Okay.
But they, okay. Nigu Churchen. Dempe Kyawa Mete. Dundampar Da Tang Shen Tang Niga Tang Yume Gangle Kyang Mi Kewe Che.
I like this one better. The last guy, Chujingan Belden, added the Dundampa where?
At the Churchen.
Yeah, inside the Chechen, which we never almost say Dundampa and Yuku Chechen.
Yeah, right.
Let's take-
Consider ultimate pens.
No, it's worse than that. Let's take Penn's ultimately.
Right.
It's just kind of, we wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
This is a little more comfortable. This is Kedubje instead of Chujingan Belden.
Oh, cool.
He's speaking his native language. Okay. Yuku Chechen.
Let's take pens. Or bamboo or whatever.
Yeah, a sprout. It needs a sprout.
Yeah.
Especially get in your mind like, what are those sprouts that people eat?
Mung bean.
Yeah, like mung bean sprout after the sprout came out. Okay. Chechen.
They start as, they don't start as
They don't
true-
start really.
Really, yeah.
Okay, they don't start really because ultimately speaking, they don't come from themselves. They don't come from something else. They don't come from both, and they don't come from no cause at all. And it's all a reference to the opening lines of Nagarjuna's wisdom. Okay. The long name of Nagarjuna's book is Sawa Shirab Ki Karika, like the root verses on Mula Karika, Mula Prajna Karika, something, okay? But I would assert that what he wanted to call his name was Prajna. Like, he knew how to write a title. The book just says wisdom. They say in the book business, if you can see the cover from 3 feet away, it's a good title. It's not like foundational verses on the subject of the wisdom. He wouldn't have named a book that way. He was Nagarjuna. He was a master of less is more. Who's what's his name?
Miles Davis?
Miles Davis said that. Less is more. Make the music come in with a lot of spaces, and it will tell you more. And Nagarjuna was the ultimate master of that. And I think it has something to do with being an Arya, in his case. Okay. So anyway, Nyuku Chichen. Then became a day. Then up data Shendan. You can then give me Chepe. Okay, go.
Oh, did we cover the gun?
I'm sorry. Did I not? Kanle Gyami Kewecher. It doesn't arise through any of these choices. Okay. Kanle Gyam. Through any of these choices. Okay. It doesn't start. Things don't start from themselves. Now, if it were Nagarjuna, he would have said, things don't start from themselves, things don't start from something else, things don't start from both themselves and something else, and things don't start without a reason. This guy said, through none of the above. Okay? And then some guy came later, which is going to happen to our translations, mark my words, and corrected him and put ultimately. Who's the guy?
Master Baba
Mahiveka. Thanks for correcting Nagarjuna. Okay? No, you have to say ultimately they don't go from themselves. Okay, got it? Tindampa. Go.
Chepa Dita She Dakle Mayin Shenle Min Cheso Ki Tik Tundu Rangyu Pada Chela.
Yeah, let's cut it there. Chepandi. Chepandi.
This quote.
Yeah,
As
this
it
quote.
said,
Yeah.
this quote. Sache from Root Wisdom.
Now, anyone want to make a comment about that?
Why is it
Shade. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, okay, you should ask me that.
Yeah.
It's an accepted variant to the spelling of Mula Prajna. It's accepted.
So it's like a nickname?
It's a nickname.
Okay.
It should have been spelled S-H-E-S. Should have, right? And it's an accepted nickname in Buddhism. And the she doesn't mean anything. S-H-E doesn't mean anything. She is nice because it's ladies. But generally, it's just a nickname, okay? It's an accepted monastic nickname. Sashi. What are you studying now? This Sashi. Sashi, man. Sashi. Okay? Sashi, the quotation from Sashi, it means here. Okay? The Sashi's words. Okay? Dale Mayan, Shenle Min, he knows the rest of it.
Starts from
Nika Lemin Gumemin. Nika Lemin Gumemin. Okay?
Does it even say Nika? Oh,
So, yeah, then he says etc., meaning he left out a line which I just applied.
The meaning of those words.
Chiktun,
Kneeling.
The meaning of those words. Okay.
now,
According
The
to the
Rangyupas-
Tantrikas,
chet,
they
okay? They
cut it
don't
off.
drink it. They explain it. This is Beshed. This is Beshed, okay? They don't beer it, Chung. Say?
They explained, right? Past tense?
No, it can be present also. Yeah, they explain it this way. But extremely difficult word here in this sentence is du.
Tigden do. They explain as the meaning.
No, actually.
What's that mean? No, sorry, it's not that Dindu. He's got it right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a Dani grammar case as the meaning.
Okay.
But why?
They explain it as the meaning. Dakle Mayin Shenle.
Okay, when you use a Dani grammar case, there's always two elements. We elected him
Yeah.
president. So in Tibetan, we elected him president as.
Right.
Whenever you use a Dani grammar case, there has to be two things. Okay, what are the two things here?
Him and what we elected him as.
I'll give you half of them.
The Dakle.
The original verse from Nagarjuna is half of the relationship. Him as
The meaning of the words is the other half. Is the
So
relationship.
ultimately, how they use ultimately?
yeah. This is gonna take too long. This syllogism is their interpretation of Nagarjuna. Got it? This Rangyut, this Svatantra is their interpretation of the opening lines of Nagarjuna, and it's wrong because they added Dundambar, which probably reflects their basic problem, which is that they think
certain things
50%
is independent or
of the object is coming this way,
Right.
and 50% is coming this way, and that makes them lower middle way.
Because they said the word ultimately.
Good.
Right.
They felt they needed it. Somehow it relates to their big problem. Oh, 50% when I see it of Seiji is coming from Seiji. 50% is my opinion, and they meet in the middle. That's a lower middle way. Higher middle way?
100%.
I made 100% of Seiji. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Probably it's related to their need to put a dun dumper there.
Right. But that's the
Okay.
only explanation.
So this whole syllogism, he's saying, who's he?
Uh,
Kiribati is saying,
Oh.
the whole syllogism is how they want to take the verse from Nagarjuna.
Right.
Got it?
Yes.
yeah. So, where is that
so
referred to in the law? Is there a D
That's the
somewhere?
do. It's just this do
All
here.
contained in the
Okay, yeah. They,
And
they,
the
they refer.
so.
the subject of the sentence is this whole syllogism.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they take this to be that.
The Rangyu is the syllogism, right? I mean, they're just calling a.
No, that's a subject. No, this Rangyu is the people.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. The Rangyu bus,
The Rangyu bus, right? Okay, that's what I originally thought.
the
And
Sva
then
Tantra
so-
Kas,
Yeah.
say, che. Their explanation is that this whole syllogism
Yeah.
is what Nagarjuna meant to say.
Yeah.
Is Sigdun. Is what Nagarjuna's
Meant with those
Yeah.
words.
verse meant. Okay, got it?
Yep. So the word
Now we can go on.
syllogism is contained in the do. Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, it's weird that these tiny little words are the ones in any language, like Russian or anything. It's like between a and e. Он пришел и
Yes.
сказал, он пришел, а не хочет. Like that. The tiny words that cause trouble. Okay, anyway. Now we can go on. Go.
Okay. Sixel le takchor tetang pa kashang dai. Anybody? Somebody take
Anybody got the plane? I think it was at Burning Hole about an hour ago.
Sixel le takchor tetang pa shung dai tikton yimpa katpa yinki.
You know, we've been talking over and over about how Chandrakirti refuted Baba Viveka, but I'm starting to smell, and I'm just too lazy to check. I think it was in Siktsal and not in Umalajupa. Remember, never forget that Chandrakirti wrote 2 commentaries on Nagarjuna's wisdom. One of them, the very famous one, is called Entering the Middle Way, in which case Middle Way refers to the book, Prajna. Okay, but he also wrote another book called Siktsal, which everybody mistranslates as clear words. Prasanna Pada. Everyone makes a mistake. It's not sick words, it's 6 with an S.
Oh.
6 with chepa. Pada.
Verse.
Verse, shloka. Yeah, it's a clarification of the shlokas.
Cool.
It's not a clarification of the words. Everyone mistranslates the title of his book.
Wow.
If somebody mistranslates the title of the book, I usually don't read the rest of the translation. Like
Fair enough.
3 principles of the path. Okay. Sorry, I get emotional. Okay, now I'm starting to feel like Prasanna Pada, Siktsal, is the book that he used to argue against Baba Viveka's interpretation of the opening lines. Okay,
Meaning
probably because Baba Viveka criticized,
Buddha Pali.
yeah, Buddha Palita. Okay, all right, here we go. Siktsal le, Takjor de Takgopa. Takjor means a syllogism.
Oh, really?
Okay, Takjor. The words in logic for syllogism are a mess. They're just a mess. There's no standard. Tak can mean reason. Tak can mean
Yeah.
syllogism.
Feels like it's all slang.
Okay, it's all messed up. Okay, so I'm sorry. You can write a letter of complaint to the authorities.
Kind of ironic.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
clear.
Anyway, and the Sanskrit doesn't help, by the way. So it's also very confusing. So Takjor,
What is the Sanskrit
syllogism.
for a reason?
Well, that's our problem, isn't it?
Right. There's not one word either.
Lakshana,
Lakshana.
Lakshana.
yeah,
And it
sign,
can also be
a
linga.
sign. a sign.
Oh, such a sign, Lakshana, okay, cool.
I think.
Just-
Yeah, like Takjor.
Right, explain good.
Detar Gupa. Gupa means, we talked about Taksagupa. Takitsini. Taksagupa.
Yeah. See, it's
Taksagupa,
another, it's like a
Takitsini.
loose definition.
Professional then?
What Takitsini means?
The definition
The
of a
definition of a reason is Taksagupa.
Oh,
Reason I put forth.
Anything your wife says,
Kappa.
anything your wife says
Yeah.
is a reason.
Established.
You may counter in the dark, you may kept.
Something that can be called existing or not existing,
Yeah.
be a reason.
Everything in the universe, whether it exists or not, is a reason. That's in the definition of reasons. Dayan Dagmayan,
Yeah, ultimately, or I mean, correct.
not a correct reason. That's a different subject. But anything your wife says is a reason. We shouldn't go to the restaurant because my sister might call next week.
Say anything you say or anything that exists.
Gupa means put forth.
Anything you put forth.
Anything your wife says is a reason.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
definition.
Good reason I didn't say. And by the way, if you really want to go deeper, there's no such thing as a good reason either. It's only a good reason in this context.
Context, yeah.
It's a definition of a good reason. They do get dayanda
If it proves,
in a certain context, because outside of the context, everything could be a good reason.
sure.
You know, this is. Anyway, okay. This is silly because rabbits have horns. Okay, outside. Okay, anyway, Gupa means to put forth a reason. Shungde Tsikdun Yibakak.
The denial.
Giving us a syllogism like that is not explaining what Nagarjuna meant to us. Okay, who said that? Chandakirti. He said, yeah, that's a nice little syllogism you guys got. Dundambar dagle ke mayin. It doesn't grow ultimately from itself. But that's not what Nagarjuna would have said, please, excuse me. He wouldn't have added ultimately when he said things don't grow from themselves, because
He didn't.
it doesn't matter ultimately or not ultimately. They don't. They can't. Why do you add ultimately? Give me a break.
General.
Who added ultimately?
The lower middle way.
Bhava
Bhava
Viveka, because he thought he was clarifying what Nagarjuna meant. And then Chandakirti says, but that's not what he meant. God, that's not what he meant. Okay, God.
More careful.
And then he says, your syllogism that this fancy syllogism you've written down for us,
Yeah,
it doesn't clarify what he meant.
got it.
Okay, all right, good.
Shung means like the real meaning of what he was trying to say.
Shung means that classic, meaning
Oh, that classic
wisdom, the book Wisdom.
of that classic. of
Yeah,
Shung
it doesn't
Tse.
explain the wording of wisdom. That classic
Oh,
book.
cool.
Shastra, as opposed to
Shastra.
when you try to teach people the
Sword.
difference between a long A and a short A. Shastra is a good example. Shastra means
Classical commentary.
classical. Shastra means
Sword.
a sword.
Weapon.
So yeah, so if you don't pronounce the correctly, you say sword when you want to say book. Okay, so it's a good example for foreigners. Okay, go.
Where were we? Chir. Chir dempe kewa. What? Kewa mete. Dakshen nika yumele mikewe chir. Shete takge. Dunirunwar dala jakpa yang ni sheto.
It's just the previous stanza ended in gi. So it's like, but then this is called.
In
Yeah,
general,
key.
the truth.
But okay, just listen, okay? But I didn't say that Chandakirti objected to saying things don't grow from themselves, things don't grow from something else, things don't grow from both, and things don't grow without a cause. I don't object to you putting it that way. I'm just objecting to you if you add ultimately to the first one. Okay? But generally, it's not the case
The truth.
that Chandakirti didn't agree that you could just say it simply.
Right.
That's not what we're complaining about. Okay? We're not, if you hadn't added the ultimately, we wouldn't be picking on you.
Right.
We're not saying that Chandakirti didn't accept that. He did. Okay, got it?
Yep.
Okay, that's not what he didn't accept. Okay. Okay.
He clarified.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. let's go. We got time?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Unkyang da ke so sum tanye du tuyang misipar terangika tonyang shenke telnger wa tanye tuyang misipar de ching
Sipand.
sipand. Thank you.
Okay, unkyang.
However,
Yeah, good. However, dake sok sum.
things that grow, the three that things growing from themselves.
Yeah, and he's talking about the three that are patently
Right,
impossible.
right. Other than things growing from others, things growing from themselves,
Yeah,
things
that
growing
they-
from both, or things growing from neither.
Yeah, now those three, Tanye du Yang, Misi,
They don't even exist conventionally.
they're impossible.
Yeah, misi.
Yeah, it's his sipe korlo sipa.
Thank you for letting me
Yeah,
answer that.
your sipa can mean sansara, but it can also mean possible. Here it's misi, not possible.
Both
The three choices are impossible anyway. Let's just, we don't have to talk about this. Misipar,
the Taungirs and
Tunyang.
those are.
yeah, everybody agrees on
They're in
that.
accord. About
Doesn't matter your lower middle way, your higher middle way. Everybody agrees those threes are stupid. They're not possible choices anyway. It's the second one that's the problem. Now he says a radical thing about the second one.
From others, though,
Other
the
person.
Prasangikas would say that conventionally, they claim it says misipa, but even that's impossible.
Yeah,
Tanya?
for a watermelon to grow from a good watermelon seed is also impossible,
Impossible.
even conventionally.
Yeah.
According to who?
The Prasangikas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Misipa.
So if you're a prasangika, would you ever want to add the word ultimately to any of the four?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely no.
Nope.
No difference.
They do not want to add ultimately. It's also impossible.
I don't like it.
Yeah. It's confusing.
Do things grow from something else?
Absolutely, they do.
Absolutely.
If you asked the prasangika, what would he say? Would they say things grow from someone else,
Yeah.
from something else?
I thought so until now.
No, they say when I say something else, you're already thinking the wrong thing.
When I say,
Something else on its
well,
own.
they-
When I
Are they
say
gonna go
something,
there?
it's the pen thing. When I teach you the pen, that it doesn't come from its own side, while you're watching me teach it, you think it comes from its own side, really, deep down inside. Okay? Until you're an Arya. Okay? Okay?
So that's why they're saying it's impossible here, or
Well, this is Kirubjay saying, okay, look, let me tell you something between us. The three are impossible anyway, just kick those out. There's a problem with the second one, okay, that the Prasangika would say, even in an ultimate sense, it's not possible. Even if you,
he says even
sorry,
in a conventional
even in a conventional sense, it's not possible.
right?
Okay, now what that means, we have to talk about.
Yeah.
But you can think about it as people see the pen as coming from itself, even while I'm explaining how the pen doesn't come from itself. It boils down to that.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
I don't like it.
Yeah. From Jupiter.
No, but this is a classic Prasangika. This is classic Prasangika teaching. Even conventionally, things don't go from other things. This is classical
Been the argument that they're sticking with the whole
Prasangika. Okay,
That's
go.
Very formal.
Rangyupa Tanyedu Shenke Kelanpe.
I'm just gonna, divide and conquer. Okay,
Great.
split, make it easier.
Much appreciated.
Rangyupa Tanya de Shenke Kilin.
They accept that.
Yeah, lower middle way does accept that things can grow from something else, even in a conventional way.
In a
Okay.
conventional.
In a conventional way.
Right, no-
They accept that, and therefore,
That's why they have to deny.
Shenke Gopala Ngepa Dinanki Kepa Jor.
Yeah, that's why they apply the word ultimately. Yeah.
To which one?
That reason about others.
That it certainly could grow from others.
Yeah, so needless to say, if you're lower middle way, you gotta add the word ultimately to the second one.
It certainly could grow from others.
Okay? Shenke Gopala, when you deny that things could grow from other. Ngepar, definitely. We had it in karma, was kept being ngepa. Okay, so you definitely, that quality, kepar, Jor, you have to apply it.
Apply it.
Jar. You got to glue it on the syllogism. You better mention ultimately, if you're going to deny Shenke, that things come from things other than themselves.
Yeah.
You got to add the word ultimately, okay? Jorki, this is the disjunctive, but
Where were we?
Tane Duyang,
Tanye duyang shenke
Mepa, Rangi
rangyupe
Peshe.
shungang le kyangma shechi.
But you cannot find a lower middle way text that says, even conventionally, things don't grow from other things. You will never find a lower middle way text that says that. That even in a even normally speaking, things don't grow from other things. You will never find a Rangyupa text that says that. You will never find a lower middle way text that says things don't grow from other things in a normal sense. You will never see that. You will only see it in a Prasangika text. Okay, so, okay, got it?
Yes.
Keep going.
Shinso yapse tang pak seng so gyunjue tse shen shepar te taki shungle shindu salo.
Yeah, so Shitso,
Shiwatso
Shantarakshita, and his spiritual son,
son, who I did not
Kamalashila.
Kamalashila.
Okay, we didn't figure out the other one yet.
Yeah. Well, Pak Seng is good.
Pak is Papa Namdulde,
And Haribhadra.
Arya Vimuktisena, and Sang means Haribhadra, or sometimes called Singha Bhadra. Hari means lion, Singha means lion, same thing. So sometimes he's called Singha Bhadra, sometimes he's called Haribhadra. Okay, so these guys, Gyunde Shen She Pardera Kishune Shintuselo, extremely clear. He says, don't mess with me. Extremely clear, Shintukupa, right? In DCI. Extremely clear. Come on. Shintuselo, what? That they accept Shepa. That they accept that causes and effects have to be Zeishen.
Substantially different.
Yeah, substantially different. To a mind-only person, what does Zeishen mean in this context?
Different seed
That they would be
from a different.
from the
That they could come from different seeds, different karmic seeds.
Yeah.
Okay? But that's not what it means here. Here it's just like, come on.
Different.
Every lower middle way guy would say that things come from causes that are other things.
Right.
Okay? Should say Shen, other stuff.
Oh, so
Other-
when they say substantially different, they,
Here it just means other
not it-
entities.
not itself.
Other entities, yeah.
Okay.
That are separate,
That might be more
that are
clear.
different things, okay? That are different things. You won't find a lower middle way guy who's going to say they grow from the same thing. Okay, all right, got it? All right.
Oh, we're almost out. We're out of time.
Read this one, it's so sexy.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'll read it fast. No, let me read it. I'll do it. Deche, therefore, yang, tel rang, la rang shiki dupa tiny duang, de mi de ki kepa yepa. Therefore, to say that there's a difference between the two middle way groups, okay, about whether things that exist by nature exist conventionally, whether not things exist conventionally, that they have a difference in opinion, right? Lo mik, the eyes of your wisdom, chaktoki tukche lepa, they are infected by the poison of jealousy. Okay, lepataki, selva topa gyuro. Okay, if your eyes weren't infected by jealousy, they'd be obvious to anybody. Okay.
What?
I was afraid you're gonna ask me that.
Yeah,
Tel Rangla.
I don't understand the context either.
No, this is that there's a difference, which is a problem.
It literally it says, anyone who thinks there's a difference
Right.
between the Prasangika and the Svatantrika about existing by nature, existing conventionally, okay, dumi dukkha kipa yupar, You're just blind.
He just set forth the difference.
Yeah,
We just got that from him. I didn't like it, but it came from him.
right.
So he's the one. It's because I didn't think that way before he told me there was one.
Yeah, I think we gotta come back to this.
Boy.
Do they have a difference on Tanya?
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
thing he was
According to him.
just
Do they have a difference on Rashinkidruba?
No.
How-
Well,
they
depends
do.
on whether or not Tanya implies that.
They have a difference on. Do they disagree on self-existence?
Well,
Ostensibly?
No, I mean, is there a difference between the two middle way schools on how they think about self-existence?
we're trying to
They
we're
both
trying
say
to
there is
clarify that.
out loud.
Otherwise, they'd be the same school.
Yeah, you could say they both talk about it,
Yeah,
right?
they both say out loud, we deny.
Okay, okay.
We say
Then he
that they
threw in
imply
Tanya
it
Doang,
because they said deny.
yeah.
And yeah, but we're gonna-
I think he's talking about, do they have a difference in how they talk about the idea of existing by its own
I
nature?
mean, we're criticizing them for accepting the nominal causation from other, which we all sat around and accepted together as a group at the beginning
As
of this class
Prasangikas,
today.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a bit confusing, yeah. Plus,
You're so diplomatic.
By the way, just as an aside, who is he accusing of jealousy?
I guess the Rangyupas,
Yeah.
either that or just whoever's reading his book.
Haters.
It's got it, right? Like, what's the...
I suspect he's talking about some other Tibetans who criticized Tsongkhapa. I would
Or
guess.
people who are failing to clearly draw the actual distinction between the two schools. Yes.
I think we'll come back to this later.
It would be the Rangyupas.
Guess what? What's the chew? A Duke chew?
Poison water,
Oh.
and it's instrumental.
Oh, by the poison water.
Yeah, their eyes have been. Lepa, I mean, this was so. I did such a good job to figure this out. There were two nasty misspellings. The misspellings are both words. So lamik would mean upper eyes or something. Lomik means the eyes of your wisdom, right? And lepa is unusual, which means to be polluted or infected by. So by the poison. Dukchu means the poison water of jealousy, Chakto. I'm not sure the Chakto is spelled right. I guess it is, yeah. Okay? So he's probably, if you studied a long time, you could figure out somebody must have criticized Tsongkhapa. And that's when you could use a secondary database. You got to have a database of fools who criticize Tsongkhapa, so you can go see who was it that criticized Tsongkhapa about this point.
Did you already read it?
And he's just saying these people, it's more a statement about how they feel about Tsongkhapa than how they feel about Madhyamika Prasangika. You see, it got personal for them.
Oh.
Okay, so their eyes were blinded by their personal competitive feelings about Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa came from East Tibet. When he got to Lhasa, it was a big deal, and he shook up Lhasa. He shook all of the monasteries. He shook everything up. And Gyaltsabje went out to challenge him, and that was a famous incident. Okay.
Cool. Sashi.
Shimbuki Jushin Meto Tram Rira Mingshin Yende Dempadi Sangye Shindu Nikte Uargi Jokun Namda Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Radha Mandala Kamniyatayami
Kewa.
Di Kewo Kun Sanam Yeshe Sozo Shing Sanam Yeshe Lechung Wei Taba Kuni Tobar Sho. I think what you're asking is, are we going to get any help on resolving this in the next two sentences?
That's what I'm wondering.
We will get some help.
Yeah.